Just give us a sense of the Mayor's Association, what a black mayor is saying with the assault happening in so many areas on black folks coming out of this administration in D.C.
Well, thank you, first of all, for the opportunity. Our reality is very, very clear. We have faced unprecedented assaults from our federal government, both economically and the health space as it relates to our voting rights, also in terms of the ICE and DHS agents coming into our communities, National Guard. I mean, it's been an unprecedented time in our cities from our own federal government. It's been nothing like it that we've seen in our lifetime.
Freddie Haynes, I'm going to go to you. The reality is this here. The church has a role to play when it comes to mobilizing and organizing. Earlier, I talked about what Dr. King wrote in Chaos or Community. And frankly, what I'm hearing from people, and I travel all around the country, they're just trying to understand where's leadership. I mean, everywhere I go, they're asking, where are civil rights leaders? Where are church leaders? Where are fraternities and sororities? Where are business groups? People are saying, man, you know, we want to know what's the plan. They're not seeing folk lay out the plan of action.
Right. Now, and again, Roland, I want to say thank you for giving us a microphone in juxtaposition to what will take place or is going on tonight in Washington, D.C., close to you where you are right now. Thank you not only for the microphone, but also for giving us this opportunity to dissect the sickness that is America, that is infecting our community, as well as to challenge us to offer a prescription for where it is we need to go. And the question you raise is pertinent, it's on point. In too many instances, the church has been infected by what John Kinney calls plantation theology, where we eliminate the social from the spiritual and are so caught up in personal piety for us that we don't get around to social policy and how it infects our personal piety. And so that plantation theology is dangerous, but there are churches. You got William Lamar on this call. You have others on this call right now in this session who are mobilizing sites for the Black church, who are doing what is necessary for the Black church to be that mobilizing force, that gathering space. We are hosting right now at Friendship West both a voting site, but also a conversation around history with Michael Harriot. All that's going on right now because there are some churches, and Roland, let's be real. A lot of times we talk about the Black church being that gathering spot during the civil rights movement, but we overlook the fact it was only 15% of Black churches, if that many, that were actually mobilizing and engaging in the work. And so as we salute a Reverend Jesse Jackson, at the same time, we've got to remember that Jesse Jackson was always trying to push the church to do more, to be more, and to recognize we are the one gathering space every single week. And if all we do is worship and we don't strategize to do the work to impact and influence the community, then that's poor stewardship of the hearts, minds, and resources of our people. And so a part of our prescription is to call the Black church back to being what Henry Mitchell called that gathering spot, that during Black church beginnings, every Black church became, according to Henry Mitchell, a platform for abolition, and we've got to be that platform for abolition, empowerment, and liberation.
Pastor Lamar, the thing that I have been saying to folk is that if pastors are concerned with dwindling numbers, that if folk move beyond their church walls and begin to touch the folks in a 0.25, 0.5 mile radius around them, then they might realize that people are actually seeing the church move out beyond the walls and not inside. This is a moment right now where our people really are yelling and screaming for leadership because of what's happening in D.C., what's happening in state capitals. And if there's a moment where Black pastors, the church could really lead, this is it. But they got to be willing to accept the mantle.
Exactly. And Roland, thank you for the opportunity. I think the first thing to say is that the masses of Black people are not connected to the Black church because they are clear that we are not in love with them as we ought be. Many pastors and much of our theology is chasing capitalism, it is chasing whiteness, and what it also does is it penalizes rhetorically and theologically the Black masses. We have, in the words of Willie Jennings, wed salvation to middle class uplift. When the masses know that we are in love with them, they will return. And it can't just be rhetoric. It has to be a plan and a policy and a preachment that lifts up all of our people. I mean, one of the things that the masses know is that we are in the presence of enemies, political enemies, theological enemies. And the problem is too many pastors allow the enemies to interpret texts and to supply theology. Why would you let those who are bent on death help you to read and interpret and to move? And so the thing that I'm thinking about right now, sitting at the table in my parents' home, is there's always a table in the presence of enemies. But there's some tables that you must overturn, and there's some tables to which you extend welcome and hospitality. And the Black church has to have that inside outside game. We've got to be tearing down tables and building tables simultaneously. I have seen that when we have real conversations with real Black people, they are willing to dialogue with us, but they have no time for BS, and they know when that's what they're being served. So if we have a table of truth, a table of love, a table of uplift, a table that does not judge, Dr. Haynes brought up the story of Reverend Jesse Jackson, and I've been reading deeply about his life. His mother was 16, his father was 33, and when he was born, his mother had to take him to their home church, put him on the altar, and beg for forgiveness. And what kind of foolishness is that? Jesus was born under the same circumstances. Reverend Jackson said, every child in every belly is a child of God. So until we move beyond that kind of bourgeois craziness, those kind of bourgeois values, and embrace like Big Mama, like Grandmama, all of who we are, then the church will remain anemic. But the masses will return when they know that they are loved.
Pastor Whalum, we're dealing with this ideologically driven white right-wing Christian nationalism. And it's abundantly clear they have infected, they have affected the federal government, and we know exactly what their agenda is. It is an anti-Black agenda. And so what do you say to the Black church, to Black preachers, where they need to be in this moment when it comes to the state of our union 2026?
Thank you, Roland. We got to go back to the old landmark, man. Got to go back.
That's right.
To the old landmark. Without the Black church, there would have been no civil rights movement. I just heard Hakeem Jeffries talk about how Black people are under attack in a worse way than we were during Jim Crow. Well, how did Black America deal with Jim Crow? We didn't beg Jim Crow. We boycotted Jim Crow. Black America did what Roland S. Martin is doing with the Black Star Network. We didn't beg white folk. We did our own thing. It was church-led, though, Roland. And Black pastors today have got to stop being so lazy and roll up our sleeves and support each other in business. Black Star Network is a behemoth because Roland Martin put in the work. We have got to put in the work. I'm disappointed, Roland. The last time we talked, the last time we did the State of Our Union right here on this particular set, I told you about an exciting meeting that Mayor Paul Young had with other Black pastors initiating economic empowerment where Black churches across the city would support Black-owned businesses. Roland, it didn't happen, man. And we can't blame that on white folk, Roland.
And see,
about what white people are doing.
But that's what I was saying earlier. I don't want to bring Robert Turner in. That's what I was saying earlier when I had the conversation with the economic people. I'm tired of folk meeting and gathering and then nothing happening. And listen, the point that you made, I was in Memphis. I gave a Juneteenth speech 8 months ago that went viral and
it got people wanting to run you out of town.
well, first of all, they understand there's a lot of places I can stay in Memphis, so they can't run me out of town. You know, and they were all mad they was mad because I told the truth. You know, and again,
you told the truth.
And listen, to your point, I've tried to get the mayor. I've tried to get Mayor Paul Young on this show numerous times. And I made it clear I ain't got nothing against him, but I'm sorry, if you're gonna be the mayor of a majority black city, I'm gonna ask you some black economic questions. And I can't believe what you just laid out, that there was a meeting announcing we gonna do this, and it didn't happen. And this is what I spoke to. I'm gonna bring Pastor Turner in here right now. I spoke to a private group. It was pulled together in Chicago of all these ministerial leaders, and this is what I told them, Pastor. I said point blank, if y'all meet and y'all talk about doing something and you don't do it, black folk gonna be pissed off. And I outlined to them the multiple times that happened before where black people gathered and people said we're gonna do this, and nothing ever happened. I said, I'm telling y'all, if that's what y'all gonna do, stop meeting now, go home, and don't waste nobody's energy. Pastor Turner? Hit your button. There you go.
I couldn't agree more. First, thank you for having me. Once more, greetings. This is a time that reminds me of a Bible study I just did, taken out of Psalms 44, where it speaks about when the children of God speak about a loss that they just occurred, that they just went through, and how the first thing they did was remember what their fathers, their ancestors taught them about God, what they were taught about God, and the victories that they got being children of God by their faith, not by their might, but by their faith. But then it pivots once they remind themselves about what God did for them and with them. Then they go and say, I want you to do it again. I need you to help. You helped us through one loss. You made it a victory. I need you to go do that again. And when they did that, they said how they would fight with the Lord against their enemies. We've lost a story somewhere in our generation. And I'm a millennial, but we've lost those stories of how we were brought over. And we a lot of times now go to churches and are taught by people who either don't know or don't care about our story, and now whitewash our story. And we've lost the fight, right? We've lost the fight. So our faith has been tampered, lost in some sense, and our fight has been lost. And we are descendants of people like Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, who actually fought for real against slavery and oppression. We're descendants of people who fought in the courts, right? Now we have surmised our fighting to voting, and some of us barely do that. Thurgood Marshall from Baltimore on the Supreme Court, we fought for integration. We better not go to PTA meetings or school board meetings. We have to make sure we remember our faith and start back fighting again. And fighting is not just every 2 to 4 years. It's every day we got to fight for our people.